Hi everyone, welcome to HubShots episode 155. This is the All About Sales episode where we talk about HubSpot sales features, tips and tricks, and using video for sales. You're listening to Asia Pacific's #1 HubSpot focused podcast where we discuss HubSpot tips, tricks, and features for growing your sales results. We hope you enjoy the podcast as much as HubSpot's CEO Brian Halligan does.
Thanks for creating this podcast. It's awesome. I listen to it on the weekends and I really enjoy it.
My name is Ian Jacob from Search and Be Found, and with me is Craig Bailey from Zen Systems. Now, Craig, welcome to this episode.
Oh, look, I'm quite interested to see how this goes. I think this is a great idea of yours. We're going to do a sales-focused episode as 155, and then 156 will be marketing-focused, and we will just check what the listener response is. Does one get more listens than the others? And do we get any feedback? Actually, so listeners, please tell us whether you like this or not.
And we're testing and measuring, aren't we, Craig?
Test and measure. That's right.
All right.
Oh, you know what? We should make this an insight of the week. Someone was saying, why do you call it test and measure, not test and learn? Because, you know, test and learn is the common expression people use. And I always say test and measure because people, if they don't focus on measure, they think they learn other ways. They go learn anecdotally. You know, this whole anecdotal gut feel?
Yes.
That's not test and learn. That's test and deceive. So I always try and say test and measure and, of course, learn from the results, but make sure they're based on measurement, not just...
Correct, because you're anchoring it to something,
opinions. Right? Exactly right.
All right, so I thought for the first part, we'll talk about the inbound sales thought of the week, Craig, which is a recap of the inbound methodology for sales. There's 3 key things in here, and I've stuck in there a picture of all the tools that relate to those 3 areas. So the first thing you need to do, you need to attract new leads to grow your pipeline. If you're in sales, that's one of the key things. The second one, engage with the people who are ready to have a sales conversation. Number 3, provide your prospects with solutions to their problems. Now, if we look at the flywheel, we can use that as attract, engage, and delight. And within that, there are other tools that we have available to us to do that within HubSpot. And I think this is really key learnings because people can often lose focus on what they're supposed to be doing and what that target is. And so this is always a good place. And whenever I start a conversation with people in sales and I'm highlighting to them what we're doing and how we're working with an organization, I always lead with this. So it kind of sets a base to what the expectation is.
I think this is a really good point, and I like that you said recap of when you started this shot because it's a recap and we constantly need to remind ourselves of this. I fall in this trap all the time, myself, let alone with others, of just diving into one little thing and forgetting, you know, where Correct. It fits in the overall scheme of things. So I think this is really useful.
All right, on to our HubSpot sales feature of the week, Craig. I wanted to highlight this because I think a lot of people that use HubSpot are not aware of the ability to quickly add a contact from your phone into HubSpot. And you can do this via the HubSpot app by adding a contact and actually importing it from your phone contact. It's pretty much like 2 clicks and you're done. And I was amazed. There were a whole team of salespeople that had no idea that this was available because they complain about not being able to easily put contacts into the system. And I thought, hang on, there's got to be a better way. So there it is. Use the app to import your contact.
This is a really good feature. Can I just check, does it do all the merging? So if the contact is already in there in HubSpot and you import it from your contacts and maybe there's extra details like a phone number that maybe it didn't have.
Yeah, I think it does.
Merges all that nicely. Yeah. That's great.
There is another option to scan the card. And I think we've spoken about scanning the card in a previous episode. So I would say have a look at that. All right, next part. The HubSpot sales gotcha of the week, Craig.
Speaking of importing in the app.
Exactly. So I was training a whole bunch of salespeople the other day and I went around the room. I said, take your phones out, try importing a contact. Anyway, to discover that some people couldn't import it. I was like, where is that feature? Did I miss something? Is your app out of date? Anyway, as I was going around the room, I was like, I'm just going to check some of the settings, the user settings, right? And I discovered that people didn't have in the CRM settings access that they could import contacts. And that was a really key thing that actually stopped people from importing contacts from their phone. So as soon as I enabled that, that option appeared on their handset when they were adding contacts.
It's an interesting user interface design choice, isn't it? If they don't have permission, don't even show it to them, which I can kind of understand on mobile. You want it as uncluttered as possible.
Correct.
I'll give you the contra of that in the actual desktop. Say export contacts. If you're going in a contacts list and you want to export, if you don't have permission, it's
still
grayed
see it.
out and it actually says you don't have permission to export. So then that's quite nice.
Yes.
Kind of frustrating, but yeah, gotcha, I guess. It would have been nice in the app if it just was grayed out and you clicked it and it
Exactly.
said ask for
Yes.
permissions. But yeah, good to highlight.
So there we go. Never seen that one. All right, on to our sales tip of the week, Craig. And this is another thing that I was showing people is using the prospects tool to add and track companies that are potentially you'll want to work with. And this is available in HubSpot. It's pretty simple. Go in there, go into reporting or analytics tools. I think at the bottom you'll see a button with prospects. Click that. You will actually see a list of prospects. You can see how many pages they've looked at, how do they get to the website. And you can actually just one click add into the CRM for a company contact. And it's a great way to keep a track and actually see what's going on, because over time you'll actually realize that, especially when you're dealing with large organizations, there are different parts of an organization that will visit the website. It's a good way to keep a track and actually understand maybe who might be interacting with you.
Okay, so can I just check? You said tracking contacts. Did you mean companies?
Sorry, companies. Yes.
That's right. So you know at a company level, it does that via reverse IP lookup or something
Yes.
like that and some other inputs. Yeah,
Correct.
Really nice.
The next feature, Craig, is our sales insight of the week.
I couldn't believe this when you showed me this because I hadn't seen it. But yeah.
That's right. And so this is a feature that's been available in HubSpot for a while. And this is on the contact record. You'll see in the top right-hand side, there's an action, like a drop-down. There's an option there to search in Google, right? So I've used this a few times to do a search in Google because it'll generally search for the person's name. If it knows the company, it'll append the company to it. But it'll show you all sorts of results about that individual or potentially that individual. You might go, well, what do they look like? I might go do an image search. I might see what sort of content they have out there. It's a really great way to actually understand more about the contact before making contact with them. So I show this often just to broaden people's insight into who they're talking to.
You know, that actions menu, that has a wealth of information underneath it. Also,
sure does.
also a bit of a dangerous link there, the opt out of email, which we
Correct.
accidentally clicked. And, well, yeah, that's no good.
Correct.
I think they should put that opt out down with the delete, those scary
Yes,
ones out of the
actually,
way.
no, quite true.
But anyway, yeah, the search in Google, the number of times I've looked at a contact, gone, okay, click open a new tab, copy the name over, search in Google, right? And here it is, just pops it out. And as we were testing, it's kind of like not only the name, might pull the company name, anything that it knows.
Correct.
Into the Google search. Really handy.
All right, Craig, onto our sales resource of the week. And we're going to talk about Loom, and this is loom.com. This is a service we've been using since it's been in beta. And what it does is it enables you to easily create videos that you can send to and share with prospects or people. So, I mean, we've done this within ourselves, but they've got a great tagline. It says, send a video, not 1,000 words. And to be honest, I've used it so many times with people that I work with on sales teams, on marketing teams, and just creating that quick video to say, hey, this is what you do. They're like, oh, wow, I really love that. So I'd encourage you, if you're in sales, use this as another tool to actually reach people and be different. Because being different is not going to stay that long.
Yeah, well, that's right. This is not just for sales, by the way. This could easily be the marketing feature of the week as well because it's such a useful tool. I've been using it as well. I just noticed they've got loom.com. It used to be useloom.com.
Yes.
They must have, after they've put in their pricing model, they must have got a few bucks in there. And
That's right. They're going to buy the domain.
They've coughed up for the full domain. Good on you guys because, yeah, it's an excellent tool. And I'm like you. Whenever I send people looms, it's almost becoming a noun in a way, looms. They go, oh, what's this great tool? It's really handy. Just works, no plugins required on the recipient's end or anything. So good.
All right, onto our sales quote of the week, Craig. And this is from Mark Roberge. Here's the quote. It's no longer about interrupting, pitching and closing. It's about listening, diagnosing and prescribing. And I think this aptly explains what we should be doing as people who are in sales.
I mean, this is not a new thought, but it's really like what Brian has said. If you follow him on Twitter, he's all across these changes in behaviour, and it's it's not selling, it's helping on all of those kinds of things. They sound like trite kind of cliches in a way, but it is really the way that it's working.
All right, Craig, on to our final sales bollocks of the week. And this is thanks to you, something you were showing me. And I guess we should set the scene here.
Yeah, right. So I was on a site, and I haven't named them here, but they've got a pricing page because I was interested in the pricing for this particular service and product that they offer. And they've said, oh, you're almost there. Just need to ask a few questions. And here's what they said: to help us better understand your needs and requirements. And with this information, we will provide you with the correct pricing package. I was like, oh, okay.
So what understanding of information
what
were
are
they collecting, Craig?
these key pieces of information? All it was my contact details. All of them, by the way. Company name, phone number, location, everything. Nothing about me, my business, my requirements or needs.
Not even your website address.
Not even my website address. No, just the request pricing. So I call bollocks.
I loved one part in this. I would like to get started within, and the sentence, that's urgency.
Yes.
Let me see how urgent Craig is. Well, there you have it. I think with all of these things, it's very interesting to see what people are asking and what a difference it can make. And I think when you have a conversation with people more and more are actually discovering, people understand how things are working better. They understand what information they're giving out. They understand the amount of information they're giving out. So don't play games with people. Just ask what you need and ask the right questions. Well, Craig, that is wrapped up all about sales episode of HubShots.
Yep, we've tried to make it nice and quick, punchy and to the point. So let us know. And
we'd love your feedback. Take a screenshot, tweet us, Instagram us, direct message us, leave a review on Apple Podcasts for us or wherever you listen to this podcast. It would greatly help us.
Yeah, look, if you leave a review, can you take a screenshot, send us an email, and we'll send you something? What do we send them?
Don't worry, we'll find something.
A sticker,
We've got stickers.
Something, a mug or something. We've got some HubSpot.
We do. The HubSpot pens are really
What
good.
do we call that? Swag. HubSpot swag. We've got some left over from the hug. Yeah. We'll send you something to the first person, I guess.
That's right. So don't be afraid. Contact us. And we would love to hear from our listeners. Well, until next time, Craig.
Catch you later, Ian. Hey there, thanks for listening to this episode of HubShots. For show notes and the latest HubSpot news and tips, please visit us at hubshots.com.